rights. I believe in entrepreneurship and people having to work. But I also believe that when a CEO makes more than 10 minutes than an ordinary worker makes in an entire year, and the CEO gets a tax break and the worker is left holding the bag. And just like in Countrywide, the company gets sold, it goes belly up, and the CEO gets a $1 million bonus, and the ordinary worker loses his pension. Something is wrong, something has to change. And I'm going to change it. You and I are going to really change it. We're going to stop giving tax breaks to companies that ship jobs overseas, and we're going to give those tax breaks to companies that invest right here in Pennsylvania, right here in the United States of America. We're going to roll back the Bush tax cuts on the top 1% and the loopholes of tax savings and corporations debt, and we're going to give a middle-class tax cut for ordinary families so they can start paying some of those bills. Senior citizens who make less than $50,000 a year, we are going to income tax on their Social Security. We're only giving them taxes that are too high. We need to fight for trade agreements that are fair to American workers. I believe in free trade, but I don't believe in just giving away the store. I don't believe in not having labor standards and environmental standards and safety standards so that companies just move their plant over to China and can do whatever they want and then ship those goods back here and undercut U.S. workers. We've got to have better bargaining in our trade agreements. We've got to have a president who is looking out for the U.S. economy in our trade agreements. I want to invest in infrastructure. Now's the time for us to rebuild our roads and our bridges and put some of the folks who've been laid off from construction jobs back to work. Laying broadband lines in rural communities so that we have better high-speed internet access so that companies want to locate in our communities. And we can afford to do it because if we're spending $10 billion rebuilding Baghdad, I guarantee you we can spend a few $1 billion right here at home. Deal with this energy problem. Now, I don't want to make promises I can't keep. So I don't promise that the minute I'm elected, suddenly gas prices drop $1 a gallon. That's not going to happen. But what I can promise is that we will go after those windfall profits of those oil companies and make sure that they are investing in refinery capacity that can reduce gas prices, and that we are going to invest in alternative approaches to energy, to solar, to wind, to biodiesel, alternative fuels, putting Americans back to work, building windmills, and building solar panels, and creating cellulosic ethanol, and creating cars that are more fuel efficient. We can do those things and put millions of people back to work in green technologies and reduce our dependence on oil over the long term, which reduces prices at the pump. And finally, I want to have a foreign policy that makes sense. Because our foreign policy right now doesn't make sense. And my job as Commander-in-Chief will be to keep you safe. And I will do whatever is required to make that happen. I won't hesitate to strike against those who would do us harm. That will be my job as Commander-in-Chief. But that means maintaining the strongest military on earth, which means we train our troops properly, we equip them properly, we put them on proper tours of duty so that we don't put these huge burdens on military families. That means we treat our veterans properly when they come home. And it also means using our military wisely. And that's the most important thing. When you get that 3 a.m. a.m. phone call? And you exercise good judgment. You exercise wisdom. You weigh costs and benefits of military action. You base it on good intelligence. Hillary Clinton, John McCain, they had a chance to exercise good judgment. And they didn't, because this war in Iraq is unwise. It has not made us more safe. It has piled up a mountain of debt for the American people. It has cost us, tragically, so many lives. I was opposed to this war in 2002. I will bring this war to an end in 2009. We won't do it precipitously. We're going to have 1 to 2 brigades out per month. At that pace, it'll take us about 16 months to get out. Now, anybody who says that's a rush, you have to remember we've been in Iraq longer than World War I, World War II, or the Civil War. 2 years from now, that will have been 7 years. This thing was supposed to take 6 months. It cost us $50 billion. If we can't get the Iraqi government to stand up in another 2 years, we won't get them to stand up in 10 years. We won't get them to stand up in 20 years. And we can't afford to stay in Iraq like John McCain said for another 100 years. That's not something we can afford, and I will not allow it to happen when I'm president of the United States of America. Last point, then I'll start taking questions. I don't want to just end the war. I want to have the mindset that got us in the war. I want to see an end to us using 9/11 as a way to scare our votes, as opposed to a way to bring the country together. I want to initiate diplomacy. You know, we've lost an understanding of the importance of diplomacy. Nixon understood it, Reagan understood it, Kennedy understood it, Eisenhower understood it. You know, I've said we will meet not just with our friends, but with our enemies. Not just with others we like, but with those we don't. And I was criticized for saying that. You know, Hillary Clinton criticized me, John McCain criticized me, George Bush criticized me. And I had to, I had to explain, remember what John F. Kennedy said. He said, we should never negotiate out of fear, but we should never fear to negotiate. That's what strong countries and strong presidents do. They talk to their adversaries. When we do that, we'll be able to go before the world community and we'll be able to take leadership once again. We'll lead on going after terrorists. We'll lead in dealing with Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. We'll lead in locking down loose nuclear weapons that could cause nuclear holocaust. We will lead also in helping poor countries deal with HIV/AIDS and preventing genocide in our poor. And we will lead in having high standards for civil liberties and civil rights.